Playing Possum Podcast.
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 Playing Possum Podcast. Hello. Good morning.
Greeting possums. Possum.
Possum and possums.
Mm-hmm.
I wish the plural of possum was like possi.
Posse.
Posse.
Posse is on fire.
Posse of possums.
Yes, it is the two of us today. Welcome to our mini. Casey has work things to do. So we are missing you today, Casey, and we will try our best to bring the fire.
Yes. Speaking of fire, we might tell a story today about fire. We were thinking about maybe talking. So Jamey and I have known each other. I think if you are a new listener, our podcast is usually 3 people, sometimes a guest, and we talk about art and how it's harder to make art and than it is to be playing dead. I'm looking at my eyebrow right now, and I have like 3 gray eyebrow hairs.
You and my cousin are now going to be in the same subgroup of gray eyebrows. Look, all of this, all of this.
It's so distinguished. It's
so distinguished. Oh.
Distinguished. I just got so distracted by my gray eyebrow hair. What was I talking about?
That we talk about and the challenges and the pitfalls and the successes. And before we hit record, we were talking about the challenge of pricing things and how we always cheat ourselves out of money.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not hard. You can convince yourself that you're dirt. You should pay people to take your art from you. Take it. Here's $5.
Oh
Take my 48-inch painting.
Oh my god, it's so true. I was telling Jamey, I'm gonna start working. Hopefully I follow through with this and I don't there was a job where I only lasted 1 day. I was a bar back at Little Kings. Do you remember?
I do. I love the bar. Hello, Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, my friend gave me a job to be a bar back, and I only lasted 1 day because I had to stay there till 4 a.m. And I was so sleepy. I was like, no.
Yeah. I also not briefly. Sorry, go ahead. But I was going to share my bartending experience.
Oh my god, you should. It's Pride Month. Tell us about
Pride Month. Hello, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I was your former bartender at Michael's, the gay bar of Tuscaloosa, premier gay bar of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I think I held that job for about 7 or 8 months and was fired once. The only time in my entire life I've been fired. And I was fired at 3 a.m. at a bar called Cheap Shots on Strip. And reason unknown. I just appeared with a tray of drinks for my group and was fired by my drag queen boss for arriving. Suddenly, there I am in a bar with a tray full of drinks, just all by myself. And then sadly, next weekend, they didn't have anyone to work. And I guess they forgot they fired me. And they're like, why aren't you here?
Oh, my God.
Well, you're going to have to rehire me to get me to come back. And they're like, oh, well, you're rehired.
Oh, you're hired.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I used to worry about you, though, at that job because...
oh, my God. So
I worked at a gay bar in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, it was on a street that was not well lit or populated. It was downtown. It wasn't a bad place. It just there weren't a lot of people around. And it was also a very nondescript building. It was a gray building with no windows and one door. And my boss was the primary entertainer and co-owner, who would be there when I would arrive at 7:30 p.m. I would have to pull up and wait for them to appear at the door. And the door would peep open a little bit. And my boss was half in drag at that point and would let me in and be like, okay, this is what's going on. And I would start getting the bar ready and I would be left alone in the club with I was not allowed to turn lights on and stuff like that. I was just supposed to like get ice and everything, ice down beer, everything else. Well, my boss went back into her dressing room and padlocked herself inside from the inside and left me out there with $200, a baseball bat, and a prayer. And so we opened at 10 o'clock. So um, the bouncer would usually show up. It was a super nice guy, huge, mostly big hairy guy that would show up at like 9:30 or 9:45 or something like that, and then the regulars would start to trickle in. Truck drivers coming down I-20, just random people from a 90-mile radius, looking for community,
Yeah.
and then eventually university and students that would come in like after several many drinks downtown elsewhere.
Get some liquid courage to come
Yeah,
in.
a little liquid courage before they came into the gay bar. So again, happy Pride, everyone! Shout out to
Happy
Michael's,
Pride.
Lisa. R.I.P. It's no longer there. The city
Oh,
plowed that whole block under to make it part of City Park or Freedom Park or whatever it is they turned it into.
Patriot Park,
Right.
probably.
Probably. But shout out to Icon, which is the current gay bar in Tuscaloosa. So gays, you still have a place to go. And they're doing a Michael's reunion. I went to one a few years ago. Haven't been back since. But hello to Jasmine, Mouth of the South, premier drag queen, famous drag queen,
Yes.
former boss. It was a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're probably listening, Jasmine.
Obviously, you're absorbing
You're
all
obviously one of our longtime
lots of
listeners.
time listening.
Uh, that's amazing. Uh, I'm just going to stay off topic. Do you remember when you took me to, we tried to go to a gay bar and I had finally turned 21? But I actually turned 21 when I was 16 and I remained 21 until then. But
Uh,
I got a fake ID taken at this bar. Is that right?
yes. And I tried to
Yes.
take you back years later.
When
Like,
I was actually 21, so I could finally walk into this establishment legal.
uh,
And the guy who was checking the ID, and I had already imbibed in some beverages. I don't drink now. In August, I think I'll be 7 years sober. But back in the day, I always say I drank all my drinks before 35.
yeah, you used it up, right?
uh, yeah, I used it up. But back in the day, I would drink beverages, and so I was a little bit drunk. And the guy checked my ID, and he was like, he was like nice, and he was just like, "Come on in," and I was like, "No, I don't like people I remember," because that was the guy who had taken my fake ID like 2 years before.
Years earlier, yes. Like,
Yes, and you were like, "We were so close to getting in, and you just had to mouth off. Like, all you had to do is walk by." And he's like, whoever this is not bringing that vibe into here, so he has got to go." And he, like, looks at you, he's like, "You can go in, but your friend has got to go." And that's when I had, like, straight girl hair, and I was in a sorority, and so, like, I didn't even look like I belonged there, even though
oh,
I
so Atlanta,
desperately did.
Georgia. That's the now RIP Backstreet, also closed.
Was
Yeah,
that in Atlanta or Athens?
no, it was in Atlanta. It was
Atlanta.
at, yeah, it was at Backstreet in Midtown. Long time, well known gay bar. Yes, and so to clarify, yes, the first time getting and he's like, "No, this ID's fake or whatever," and you're like, "Oh, whatever," and he was like, "No, it's totally fake," and he's like, "And I'm keeping it," and we were both like, "Oh no," and then the bouncer's like, "Y'all need to get out of here or whatever," and it was like, "Oh, we left like totally dejected or whatever," and then we did go back when you were 21 and it was the same guy. Like, what are the odds that it would be the same person checking IDs? And
Oh my
yeah,
god.
he's like, "Okay, go in." I know I'm repeating exactly what she just told you, but and he was like, "Okay,
Let
great."
me
And
retell the story.
he was like, "You can go in," and you're like, no. And you're like, "What?" I don't like people that I remember. And you looked right at him, ah, and he was like, "Bye,
He's like, "Fuck you."
ah, God, bitch."
Happy Pride, you got to go. Oh my god. That was probably just like me self-sabotaging my gay self and was like, "You are not ready, girl." Um, yeah. Um, mm.
This is the Pride mini episode. Then we'll just make it
This
that.
is the mini Pride episode. Okay, well, so I'm gonna bring this up just while we're off topic, and then we can get back on topic if you want. But we talked about fire, and we're also just talking about my antics. So I wonder if we should share the story. So Jamie and I, in the pandemic, when we were stuck in our homes, started this creative project that hopefully someday will see the light of day. But we started telling our stories, the same story, but from each other's point. Or I don't know. Can you describe it? Are
Uh,
we allowed to? Are we allowed to like talk about this, or should we?
yeah, why not? Well, I think it's interesting. They can't steal our stories.
Should
They're
we like put a blanket over it, like Hudnall style, or just like
awesome.
clear reveal?
Essentially, we remember our youth differently, and we remember the same events, but we don't remember them in the same way. We thought it would be interesting to both write about our experiences and then compare notes, and so we'd give each other a prompt. Um, be like, okay, well, do you remember this? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, what do you remember about it? We'd go off and write about it, and then come back together and see what we would remember. So it was really interesting because I guess until up to that point that I just assumed that we remembered everything in the same way, but no, not even close. Like there were a number of instances where you remembered things that were I had not retained at all, or no part of my memory whatsoever. I thought it was an interesting project, and we're not done with it. And yes, it will see the light of day at some point. And,
Yes, it will. I
you
want
know,
it to.
we have to go make sure that we're not getting paid for our art, and there are lots of other things that are going to come first.
Yes, yeah. So if you want to hear the stories, pay us $2 to $5 an hour, and we will read them to
For $1 a day, you can support a living artist.
you. Oh
Um,
my god, we should do like videos of ourselves like with like the wind blowing and being like,
Brush, a little sad,
who
broke
is that woman? Like Sally
Sally Struthers, right?
Struthers, yeah. Do you think she's still alive and could she sponsor us and do some videos for
Um,
artists?
well, she was doing the Lord's work. I don't know if she'd want to sponsor us, but
Hmm.
maybe
She's probably gay. Um,
she could be.
they always are. Um, okay. Well, first of all, Sally Struthers always reminded me of Miss Pritchard, who was a giant bee of an elementary school teacher.
Someone
But
else,
that's another story. So
someone
stay
else you don't
tuned
like that you
to hear
remember.
about what's that?
Someone else that you don't like that you remember.
Oh, I do not like Miss Pritchard because I remember her. Um,
And you don't like people you remember.
I do not. Okay, do you want to tell your side of the story? I know you haven't. So, Jamie, this is us not playing Possum because Jamie has not finished his side of the story and he is going to share it anyways.
Yeah, and I have not even read it through. I just pulled it up. So let's give it the old college try. Okay. I've got it titled as K&J Stories number 9, Fire in the Restaurant. There's a corner of Atlanta between Morningside, Virginia Highlands, and Midtown that abuts Piedmont Park, claimed by the homosexuals. Atlanta gays of a certain age referred to this area as Boys Town, a conglomeration of several interconnected neighborhoods peppered with trendy retail properties like coffee shops, bookstores, boutiques, restaurants, and gay bars. As a little gay coming up in the big city, I knew instinctively that this was where I belonged and that these were my people. Only a mile or two from the church I attended with my family, I knew it well, and often came up with innocuous reasons as to why I needed my mother to take me to that particular bookstore or that coffee shop over by the church. I'm sure I had an inkling as to why I needed to go to those particular businesses, but she never let on. Or maybe I'm sure she had an inkling as to why I needed to go to those particular businesses, but she never let on, kindly taking me to the store of my choice most of the time. But once I became a licensed driver, I had the ability to take myself to that area without supervision, and I began making my way up and down those streets on my own, ogling all the muscled, well dressed men that populated the area. Though I felt too young, too inadequate to assert my weak mojo, I kept trying to zero in on how I would fit into the culture once I'd become a man and escaped high school. I didn't always venture to Boys Town alone when I could entice my bestie, Catherine, to come with me and check out all it had to offer. After all, it was where some of the city's coolest places to shop and eat were. Obviously, I was most interested in being around gay men, particularly handsome gay men, preferably gay men that would make all of my adolescent fantasies come true. Desperate to include myself in that world in some way, I talked Catherine into going to a southwestern restaurant right near the intersection of Piedmont and Monroe, known as Cow Tippers, or Queer Central. It was a Friday. We wanted to find something to get into, and I knew just the place. Catherine was up for whatever, and in fact, she may have even been somewhat intrigued by the idea of visiting Atlanta's premier queer pocket. I mean, I'd always had suspicions that she was potentially same sex oriented, so I thought she might want to check the place out with me. Who knows? Maybe there's a cute girl worth her time. I have to click back to see your face because I can't watch you. I can't watch you listen to it. That sucks. Okay, sorry. Um, who knows? Maybe there's a cute girl worth her time. That night, we gussied up in our finest mall apparel, probably Gap or J. Crew fashion finds, and loaded up into my vintage '78 Volkswagen van again, singing Bop, the hit single of the day, and made our way to Boys Town. We arrived, we valeted the Volkswagen, we walked up to the host and requested a table for two. We were led to a small indoor table with a view of the whole interior, perfect for people watching, and excellent for making eye contact with the muscled wait staff. I think I've said muscles like 8 times. The hostess left us with a couple of menus and we took our seats. As Catherine was looking at the food options, I was scanning the room looking for Mr. Right. The whole notion is ridiculous. A 16-year-old guy with a girlfriend hoping to find either love or a sexual encounter, or ideally both. After sitting for a couple of minutes, I began to wonder if we were going to be served at all. It was very, very busy, being a Friday, and no one had come up to our table yet. Just when I began to shift to just when I began to shift to go speak to the hostess, she came up beside me, apologized for the wait, and assured us that someone would be right over to take our order. We didn't have water or anything, just a salt and pepper shaker, an ashtray, and a box of cow tipper matches.
Oh,
That-
is that the end? That's how far you go? Oh my god, that's such a good lead up. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is
Yeah, it's all for you.
okay. All right, so this one's mine. And just keep in mind, Jamie's a better writer than me.
No,
But I will not sell myself short,
don't
girl.
charge highest dollar.
Okay. This story is gonna be $3. Word. Okay. Jamie had this amazing '70s VW van that was orange and white that had been. Let me clear my throat. um, okay. Jamie had this amazing '70s VW van that was orange and white that had been refurbished into the best cruising vehicle any high schooler had ever had. We cruised everywhere in that thing, mostly listening to Bop on repeat and blasting that shit everywhere so everyone could hear how awesome Hanson was. In high school, we had to part ways in school, which was really hard for me. I left Lakeside at the urging of my parents because I think they thought it was hard for me being at the same school as Brian, who is my brother, after the accident, which is a car accident that he was injured in. And at times, it really was. Looking back, I don't think they made the wrong decision, but being away from Jamie was really very difficult. So when we were together hanging out, I just absolutely relished the time. I can still put myself right back in the passenger seat of his vans, windows down, cruising the streets of Atlanta like we owned the place. Come to think of it, it was a very similar sense of adventure and wildness we had in the neighborhood, but we got wheels and our world got bigger. Because of Brian's accident, driving had never really been a thing I loved to do. So I was always happy and grateful that Jamie loved to drive us around. Jamie would always drive us around Piedmont Park area. It was his favorite place to be around. I played soccer in the park and loved that area too, but I did not know it as well as he did because his church was in that nearby neighborhood. What I didn't know at the time was that Jamie already knew he was gay and was starting to explore into queer spaces as safely as he could as a closeted teen in Georgia in the '90s. And that meant driving around the queer part of town with his also closeted best friend who didn't have an inkling she was gay, except that she really liked the photo store clerk who looked a lot like Harry Potter and wore a Buddies shirt, the local gay bar. Didn't know that either, but Jamie did. It was really a Ring of Keys kind of curiosity, which is an Alison Bechdel reference. Anyways, back to Piedmont Park. We were cruising in that sweet, sweet van up for anything when Jamey asked me if I wanted to check out Cow Tippers. Of course I did. Cow Tippers was a spot frequented by mostly gay dudes, but I was oblivious to that. I was sort of like that rural dude who thinks lesbians are just country or probably just sisters. I just had no reference. Queer culture in the early 90s was not what it is today. So Jamey and I popped up in there for a bite to eat. It was a cool atmosphere and I was just soaking it up. At the time, I had a lot of extra energy. I still do. And sitting still was difficult for me. I can imagine for Jamey, it was a pretty big deal to have gotten up the nerves to go into that space. And I was so clueless, I didn't really know what was going on for him. But I think I sensed that he was distracted and not paying attention to me. And he was probably looking around, checking out the scene and the dudes in the place. And I can imagine this based on my own experience of going into a lesbian bar for the first time 15 years later. So I started to play with a book of matches at the table to pass the time. Well, you may or may not be imagining what happens next. But the thing is, I was playing with the matches, but leaving them attached to the whole matchbook. So when the one lit up, it happened to catch the whole matchbook on fire. And it was quite the blaze. So everyone looked over, and I stared helplessly. Quickly, Jamey smothered the minor fire with a napkin, but he was pretty mortified and said we should get out of there. I was a bit surprised by how embarrassed he was in the moment because usually he is proud or even partaking in my antics. But I think it was because he had finally gotten up the nerve to be in a space with other gay men and to see what that felt like. And when I brought attention to us, it probably felt like he was actually on fire, not the matchbook. Being seen before you are ready to be seen can be one of the hardest things in the world. The end. Um,
What a couple of flamers.
oh my god, yes.
I guess when I look back, I remember the flames being like people size.
Massive. Huge fire. Yeah, me too.
Five
Me too.
alarm.
Like,
Five alarm.
yeah.
Um,
It was a 5 alarm fire, probably for you, of
um,
like having that, like you'd finally walked into that space, you'd convinced me to come with you, and then I was just like, let's light this place up, motherfuckers, I'm bored. And like, you're like, I hate you right now.
I don't think we ate. I think like I don't.
No, we left. I
Yeah,
mean, who knows who's what?
no, we didn't. I mean, we had a table, so we could have been served, but it was like, gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, your recollection of it really was meaningful to me in the way that like I don't know. I guess that little 16-year-old now feels seen. You know, so I appreciate it from that perspective.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, in what way do you feel like, just that,
Because
like,
at that age, I was in hiding, right? So,
yeah,
I guess so in retrospect to be seen now. But yeah, that's probably exactly what was going through my mind,
yeah.
um, for sure. So I don't. I'm sure we didn't go home. So God only knows what we did when we left there.
Oh
The
my god, yeah. It
pops
probably
up
went.
and down, Piedmont.
Well, no, probably what we did is do you remember, because I turned 21. I said I turned 21 when I was 16, but I actually turned 21 before I was 16, or at least before I was driving. Because remember, you would drive us through the pitch and putt, but you would
Yeah,
drive backwards so I could show the ID. And like, oh my God, like these motherfuckers were like, probably just like,
I know. Like in third grade, being like, I would like
yeah, I would like, what is good to drink?
some
What
soy.
will get you really drunk? Yeah, so you would drive like reverse through the drive-through so I could show my ID, and so we probably did that and then went to the park by your church.
Yes. Shout out to Haygood United Methodist Memorial Church. I can't think what it is. Haygood Memorial
Mm.
United Methodist Church and Sunken Garden Park.
Yes, Sunken
Memories to
Garden.
relive. Yes, and Boone's Strawberry Wine,
Mm-hmm. Or Arbor Mist also is a very fine wine.
right, which
Uh,
is way better
I
going.
always I always tell this story, and I don't know if it's true. And my dad does sometimes listen to the podcast. So hey, dad. But
Hey, hey Larry.
he found some Arbor Mist under my bed, and I remember him not being mad that I was drinking, but being mad that I was drinking Arbor Mist, and he was like,
Our
"This is
perfect.
garbage."
Uh,
Like,
I mean, once upon a time, your dad was a wine connoisseur, so
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
that's the disappointment. Oh, I love your mug.
Isn't
Oh,
that cute?
that is cute.
Dragonflies. That's like Marcia's grandma's like fave bug. Um, and so we have a lot of dragonfly stuff.
Yeah, Mama loved him too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
That absolutely made my day. I can also see us bebopping in that van leaving La Fonda.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when you ended up somehow with like 2 quarters worth of chiclets in your mouth and had to vom them down the side of my van.
Oh my god, you were so patient with me. I was like,
I had more fun. I don't I may have used up all of my fun in that corner of our lifetime. I don't know.
yeah.
It was
Well,
so
that's what I tell Marcia when I'm like, I bring my antics and chaos to our lives, and I'm just like, well, but I'm fun, you
yeah,
know.
funny. Funny is just like this is not as frequent as everyday me. So uh,
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. No, we had so much fun, and
and I think your parents were confident in me as a driver, also because that van was just a huge metal tank that would not go over like 40 miles an hour. Um,
totally.
so
Yeah.
RIP to the 78 Volkswagen van again.
I
White top,
know.
orange
Oh
bottom,
my
or
god.
little cream corduroy seats. Four,
Yeah.
4 speed.
I need to go through. I have like my photography stuff at my parents' house that got moved from Atlanta, and I think I have a photo of you, like my a black and white photo that I took from my photography class with Miss
Oh, I
Harris.
got it. It's framed here at the house. I have
Oh,
one.
you have it. Okay.
Well, you gave me one framed, and it's here hanging at the house, so I can remember what my hair looks like.
Yes, it looked
A lot like
good.
it does now, to be honest. Except
Yeah.
more of this.
Yes. Oh my god.
That
Uh,
90s thing, inside burns. Those were very
yes.
important to prove that you could grow them.
I just learned a gender thing about sideburns when I got my hair cut the last time is that like pointed is more feminine and then
Mhm.
squared off is more masculine. So anybody who likes to have a gender neutral haircut, if you want to be more feminine, you go pointed, and then if you want to be more masculine, you have them squared off.
And don't forget to do your eyebrows.
And don't forget to have them dye
Side
the
gray,
gray in your
blue
eyebrows.
beige, right?
Please.
Where vanilla is
Also,
a couple slits. Now it's the thing to make them a little gray.
yeah, they're also like I feel like curlier than the other eyebrow hairs. So like in the
Ooh,
morning, like I wake up and they're kind of just coming straight
ooh.
out.
You need to string some beads on the long ones.
Ooh, I know that would
Straighten
look
up a little
good.
bit. We're tickled
Yeah.
because I have a cousin that has really gray eyebrows. Dark hair, but like really gray eyebrows.
Oh, I know.
I
Yeah.
know.
Shout out.
Uh-huh. Who's turning
Shout
40
out.
here? Ooh.
Yes. Oh my God.
Where have the
Uh,
years going?
my friend just turned 40, and he, on the day of his birthday, he found out he had a hernia. And then on like the next day, he found out he had skin cancer. And we're like, welcome to 40. I mean, the skin cancer got cut out and the hernia has been repaired. So he is okay. But we were
Awesome.
just like, that is a rough entry into 40.
Yeah, you need to play puppy in a truck for him. Um,
Oh, yes. Jenny Lewis. Hey, girl.
oh, him up in a margarita glass.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Should we talk about anything else? I feel like we shared something creative and we didn't play possum on it.
Mm-mm. And I know you've got a heart out, so we can put a
Yeah.
bow on it here. Thanks
Yeah.
for attending our mini episode. Hey, our mini
Oh
Pride
my God.
episode.
Yes. Thank you, possums. And our call to action today is to
Call your old friend. Compare your notes. How about that?
yes, call your old friend, compare notes, remind yourself of your antics, and maybe set fire to something.
And if y'all enjoyed our little story, our little dueling remembrances or whatever, let us know. Maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And remember to check us out on all the places. You can watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Spotify or Apple
Apple
Pods.
Pie. Hmm.
And check out our website for a little more info or backstory about us. Or you can see our work at our personal websites. I'm at jameyhudnall.com. You can shop my merch at junkinandhudnall.com. And
I'm at Catherine-Edmonds.com, and Casey, I think, is CaseyMontgomery.com, but we're all linked at playingpossumcollective.com. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter at playingpossumcollective.com. And all of that stuff's in the show notes too. So just scroll on down and click on some links. So, yeah.
glad y'all came.
Yes, thanks for coming. Y'all come back now, you hear?